How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Ultimate Survival Guide. As you can see, I've got a face cam going on. You guys voted for it in the polls that I put up. If you want to keep an eye on some of the channel stuff, you can keep an eye on the polls situation. I will normally poll you guys. You also told me that you want to see as many survival guide episodes as I possibly can put out. So I will be busting ass over the next little while, and I plan to do hopefully an episode every 2 days or so if things pan out correctly. So we left off on our little marauder here. We had made our heavy mallet with increased fizz damage, which is pretty good, which I can actually augment. So let's do that right now very quickly. Take those out. Bam. Crit chance isn't bad. I would have hoped for like added fizz, but not that bad, not that bad. Alright, so make sure that's in the right slot. Let's talk to our quest NPCs. I don't really remember which quest I was on. I believe I have my quests actually hidden from playing a previous character. Thinking now. Yes, I do. Alright. So, I believe I've reset everything to, for the series. I was playing some of my other characters, so if I have something different on, I'm sure we'll figure it out. If I have like my memes, Shenanigans, loot filter on, I'm sure we'll know. Alright, so let's go to Prisoner's Gate and let's try and make our way into Act 2. And I can start to teach you guys some of the stuff about Act 2. We'll get access to heralds, we'll hopefully start dual wielding, get some really good weaponry and that sort of stuff. Alright, let's pop this Quicksilver, and let's keep ground slamming away at things. It's weird remembering I'm playing without a loot filter, so I have to kind of pay attention to at least some stuff. Alright, now, when it comes to most zones, at least early on, if you just follow the road, it'll normally take you to, like, where you need to go for the quest. So, oh, that leap slam is so slow. That leap slam is so slow. Alright, so if we follow this straight ahead, this will take us to an update for the current quest, which is essentially, we can't go that way. Now, in Act 2, I'll show you that when you follow the road, it actually works out for you. But in Act 1, you go up there, she talks to you, and then you get another quest, essentially. So, the way you want to go now is you want to try and make your way down the hill. You can leap slam up and down, like so, if you want to get down here quickly. Which is one of the main reasons I'm using the leap slam. Let me double check that the combat sounds aren't too loud or anything. We should be fine. Let's keep that potion up. We do have a bismuth flask as well down here. That was lucky, and I had that drop for me, so I'm gonna make good use of that. Make sure to put the Ancestral Protector down when we come across the Burning Menace right there, because that'll make it so we get extra single target damage, and it'll tank for us. If you're playing on hardcore, or you're playing as like a ranger, or that sort of thing, a class with less survivability, as opposed to taking Ancestral Protector, you may have been offered Decoy Totem. It'll essentially be a problem solver for you dying. When I told someone who was having problems with bosses that they could just take a Decoy Totem on their ranger, they didn't really believe me, and then they tried it, and they weren't dying as much anymore. Essentially, it works just like Ancestral Protector. Notice how you put that down, and it'll start to whack things. Except instead of whacking things, it'll taunt things. So it'll take hits from the boss for you. Which is quite useful when you can only take maybe 1 or 2 hits before you just keel over and die. So it's very useful. At least in my opinion. We're gonna grab that silver coin. I think we got Navali, but that's gonna be for endgame and like way later. Alright, let's hop down here. There's something that I'm going to show you in about 2 seconds here, because I just realized I don't have it turned on. Sleep slam back up here. And take care of these two, and I'll show you fellas something to do with leap slam. And this guy as well. Come on. There we go. Okay, so when I use leap slam, if I were to, say, click off my screen like this and hit R, my character would run to the point where my mouse was, and then try and leap as far as possible. Now, that is not an optimal way of using leap slam, right? That feels fucking horrible. Now, what I do instinctually, because I've played so much Diablo 3, is I press shift. And when I press shift, it means it'll root my character. It's the same thing for ground slam, right? If I click over here, it'll like move my character to where it is. So what I do instinctually is I hold shift, and then that'll root my character, right? I do this instinctually now after hours and hours and hours. If I hit shift and my leap slam key, it'll leap slam immediately, okay? But there's actually a setting in PoE that you can turn on. You have to enable it for every skill uniquely, but it can automatically do this for you. So if you left click on your leap slam skill, you can check always attack without moving, like so. Check that on. And now I don't have to press shift anymore. I just press R. I don't have to press shift at all. It does the leap slam automatically. Same thing with ground slam. And I don't have to do anything. It won't attack while moving anymore, and it solves that problem. Now, when I have this setting turned on, I'll still instinctually shift right click like I just did there for ground slam, because it's just so, you know, ingrained in me. It's like muscle memory at this point. But for those of you who want to fix that and you don't have the muscle memory of mashing shift like I do from hours and hours of playing Leap Quake Barbarian, then you can turn that setting on and it should fix those things for you. That's not bad. I can maybe get something out of that. And the reason I'm grabbing that is my current chess piece is 1 green, and that's a blue-red with an extra red on it. Because more sockets is always better. Chess pieces can roll up to 6. Two-handers can roll up to... what is it? They can roll up to like a ton. From 6 as well, I think. I just woke up a little while ago, so I'm trying my best. I'm genuinely trying my best, but I may be out of it in certain conversations. Alright, so we're gonna make sure we grab the waypoint down there in the ship graveyard here. Ground slam jam, don't really care. We're gonna talk to Fairgraves because he's one of the what is it? Skill point NPCs. That's the word I was looking for. If you do his quest, he will give you an additional skill point. Now, I'm still weighing if when I'm trying to speed level, if doing skill point quests like this are worth it at the time, or if it's more worth it time-wise to go back and do it at like level 40 or level 50 or whatever. I'm still not sure on that. When I do attempt to actually race, I'll get back to you on that one. But for the moment, we're just gonna kind of do everything as we go. Just, you know, we're showcase, right? So, we need, I think I need to get Resolute Technique. I'm missing a couple of swings here every now and then, but that's how it is. Alright, I have 3 skill points to put in as well. So we're gonna find the entrance to the ship graveyard, and I'm gonna throw those points in. I'm gonna grab this large life flask and that wisdom scroll. And now I'm going to put this large flask over top of this other one, because this is a level 1 flask, this is a level 6 flask. You want to try and keep your flasks leveled as often as possible and leveling up with you. I think there's a recipe where you put in like 3 of the same flask and they upgrade to the next tier. So if you can't find any large ones or any like upgrades, but you keep finding the small ones, you can vendor 3 of them and it should give you a larger one. So whenever you put on a new flask as well, it'll always be put on empty, unless you're in town. If you're in town, then it will it'll be full when you come back out into the world and stuff. Which allows us to do a bunch of stupid shenanigans, if I'm honest. So I'll show you when we get over here. Do I have a portal scroll to spare? Yes, I do. Okay. So we're gonna go into the ship graveyard cave. That's a lot of words. And now I'm gonna show you a trick. Alright, so you'll see that my Quicksilver flask is empty, right? I can press F as much as I want to. I'm not gonna get a speed boost. Big portal scroll, go back to town. Go back through the portal scroll. Notice I have full flasks. Now, they've implemented something called Challenge Leagues, where you can turn that off if you want to play like a really hardcore version of PoE. But if you're playing in a standard league and that sort of stuff, you can do that trick all the time. If you have portal scrolls to spare, and you don't have Quicksilvers up, or you run like 2 or 3 Quicksilvers while leveling or something like that, and they're all empty, you don't feel like killing something or whatever, you're trying to really speed level, that one load screen can get you all of your flasks back. Notice how it refills everything. The Quicksilver, the life flask, would have refilled the bismuth as well at that point. Okay, so where was I? So I was talking about Resolute Technique up here, which is your hits can't be evaded, but you never crit. This gives you basically a ton of hit chance, and you hardly ever miss attacks. I'm gonna need to get that fucking lightning shrine in a second. Thing's loud as hell. Okay, which way do I want to go? This is a good question. I kind of want to get all of these, if I'm honest. Could be helpful. Or I could go up through Born to Fight. Do I go up Born to Fight? Yeah, I mean, why not? Alright, go up, get Born to Fight here, grab the point there. Yeah, that should be fine, I think. I do kind of want to get Unwavering Stance and Battle Cry, but I'll get there in time. Alright, it's going to be accuracy, melee attack speed, 26% melee fizz, which means I should be able to potentially one-shot packs when I don't miss them, like I was talking about earlier. And then 5% increased max life. Watch my health go up by quite a bit because, you know, percent scaling and stuff, and such. Oh, coffee is life. Okay. So I don't exactly know where I'm going to go. Probably up here, path this way. Get res technique. Path back, get the Scion life cluster, I think. It's probably the plan. For those of you who are leveling onwards from me, if you're playing, trying to play along with the same build for, you know, whatever reason. I know some people do like to do that. And I also know that, how am I trying to say this? A lot of people will like play onwards anyways, and I do have a lot of information, so they'll come back and I'll still be in like Act 1 or 2. But they'll still be learning stuff, which is quite nice. It's quite awesome, actually. Alright, so we picked up the Lightning Shrine. I covered shrines in the previous video. Do I want those? Not really. Maybe? Yeah, I do, actually. Alright, am I gonna check a transmute on them? Yeah, why not? Alright, this is what I'm talking about with character control, right? This is how you start speeding up your game. Alright, grab that. This is how you start speeding up things, right? I'm moving on my, moving my character while I'm doing my gem setup. This is how you start speeding up. Put that in there. I see that enemy down there. Like, I'm in my peripheral vision, I'm looking left. If you look at kind of, you can't really see what I'm doing with my eyes and fucking face and shit, right? But I'm staring on my, staring at my character sheet. And in my peripheral vision, I'm able to identify that I have enemies in front of me, which way they are. And because of that, I can, you know, deal with stuff over here. And use like the long clicks to help move my character. So if you're looking to maybe speed up your leveling process on your next set of characters, or you want to do some like racing practice or that sort of stuff, you can do things like that. Now, I've also changed some of my keybinds to suit that sort of expedited playstyle. Now, you will probably have your keybind set up as like I is your inventory, and then P is your skill tree. I've changed mine so that Z is my my inventory, and S is my skill tree. So that's all on my left hand, so I don't have to go all the way like across my keyboard, you know, to access all these keys. So if I'm trying to be fast, I can do it with my left hand and then use my right hand and peripheral vision to maintain semi-decent character control and speed myself up a bit. Alright, so that boss is pretty dead. We're going to grab that all flame and then pop out of here. Now there's a couple different things we can do from here. We can just run back, or I can kind of cheat a little bit. We're gonna drop a portal scroll, and then we're gonna go up to the waypoint, because we know Fairgraves is above the waypoint, right? So we go to the ship graveyard, come up to Fairgraves up here, all the way up to him. What's up, my dude? And then we have to fight all of the stuffy summons. It's not really that hard. At least in my current setup anyways, no real issue. There we go. Anything of note? Boarding axe. Boarding axe could be good, but I need more dexterity, so we'll go for now. There's 2 boarding axes, actually. Let's play a little bit of inventory Tetris. Alright. Inventory Tetris is a success. And then we make our way back. And we go back to town. Alright. And we can take the portal back. Now, that only works with areas that have the quest or whatever you need is like right beside the waypoint, because otherwise you're not going to have that same result. But you can do that sort of stuff with very certain things. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Alright, hang on, I can feel a sneeze coming. Boy. Oh, man. Ugh. You know when you get a sneeze, and it's going to happen, and then it just doesn't? Yeah, me too. Okay. We are standing in front of our very first Vaal zone. This is a corrupted area that can drop a ton of different things. I've gotten 6 link items. I've gotten all white socketed items. You can get some insane stuff in these sorts of things. But what we are really aiming for, is a Vaal corrupted gem. Now, essentially those are a better variant of normal skill gems. So I was talking before about Vaal Ground Slam, which will, instead of slamming in an arc like this, right, will do a slam on the ground that hits all around you. And will stun everything pretty much guaranteed. So we're going to hope for Vaal Ground Slam. Maybe like, I don't even know what else I could get that would be that interesting. At this level, I really don't know. But we shall have to get there and see. Alright, let's try to make a big group for these. Remember, Ground Slam is a very nice AoE skill. Do we need those Steel Greaves? No, I definitely don't. They're only 1 socket. They're not a problem to me. Grab my augments. Hop up here. Remember, keep Ground Slamming as a very large pack. Maybe try and maneuver around them a little bit. Plated gauntlets. I'm using a pair already. Those are actually a chrome pair. Thinking now. I can't even open that chest. They're in the way. There we go. Grab a portal scroll, and a wisdom scroll, so I can try and do shenanigans again. Always try and make sure you have portal scrolls on you. I could take that rapier, but maybe not. I'm gonna need a lot of dex if I were to play dual wield with cleave and stuff. I don't think I really have enough dex. But that's just that's how it is. I may end up playing maces with my Sunder setup that I'm going for, but we shall see. We've got to get there first. Alright, now when you, if you're clearing a Vaal area, you'll find that the moment you see one of these books, the zone boss is going to be right beside that. So, you know, prepare yourself accordingly. Grab that life flask. Now, I'm not going to switch it out just yet. I would normally put it here, but then that'll drain the flask and I'll go in at a disadvantage. So that's not really the best idea. We're going to throw down, what's the color on that? Oh, it's a 3 link too. Throw that one down. Identify that. Ooh. Well, that's pretty damn good. That's really good, actually. Wonderful, let's keep that. Alright, let's pop up here. And kind of kite the pack around. And put my bismuth flask up for elemental resist. Again, I got lucky. Streamer RNG, I suppose, right? Or recording RNG. I'm going to slam him to death, and he's going to drop us some wonderful stuff. Greater Life Flask, Orb of Alchemy. Wonderful, wonderful. 2 Greater Life Flasks, even fucking better. Chainmail Tunic, not really that useful. Wrapped Mitts, Leather Belt. I'm going to take one of those. I don't really have much space for anything else. Yeah, that looks about right. Grab that scroll. And what do we get? Vaal Ground Slam. Oh, that is not what I expected. Alright, you may not get that lucky. You most likely will not get that lucky, but god damn. Okay, well, guess I'm putting that on. Okay, what level was it? Is the other question. So that'll be level 1. My ground slam is level 6. Okay. Well, let's just throw that in there, and then I can explain Vaal skills to you. Let me move some keybinds around then. Ground slam, and then put Vaal ground slam there. Get rid of that one. Okay. So I'll get to that in like 2 seconds, but I cannot believe that. Anyone who knows what just happened is probably laughing their ass off. Just like I am currently. Alright, identify that. Now flasks can roll colored as well. They won't always drop white like these current ones. They can drop blue, and then they can drop unique. There's no rare flasks in Path of Exile. So for this one, it has 50% increased amount recovered. So you'll see this one heals for 403, this one 540. However, this one is over 10 seconds as opposed to this one being over 7 seconds. So I'm gonna put that one there and that one there. And I don't even really care about that one, so that's gonna be fine. Don't care about that anymore. I have an alchemy orb. Okay, now having an alchemy orb does a lot for us, but it also allows me to teach you something different. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So, now that we've done that, I'm going to port back to town because I have a ton of stuff to show you now. I'm going to use the alchemy orb to do some crafting, but we can do a few different things with that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check how much dexterity I have. I need 19 to use those. I can ground slime with axes, which is good. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily use this 2 set. I might. It will give me faster attack speed, that's for sure. And if we talk to him, we can get our skill point for dealing with Fairgraves. And we right click that. Bam. Okay. So I've organized my stash, just for reference. You won't have access to any of these colored tabs. You're gonna have 4 empty tabs like this. Now, because of that, I can show you a few tricks that I normally do. So ignore most of these tabs. I will start using them just for my own personal convenience. But these will basically be all that you end up being stuck with. So what I recommend doing is to start organizing your stash here. Is to create a line of stuff that is individual to each item. So say you want to do like transmute shards, put them halfway across from transmutes. Alterations, there's no alterations, or there's no actual alterations, so we'll put that there. Armors, scraps, I normally have like a line right there, and then like an alch sort of thing. You know, keep it kind of like organized, right? And try and make an actually organized setup is my recommendation personally. Alright, so I'm going to sell all of these, sell that. I'm going to keep the leather belt. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the leather belt. I can get some value out of that. Do I want to keep that? Not anymore now. So that. Can keep that ground slime for the moment. And we'll sell that as well. Okay. So now I have the advantage that I do have a tab here, so I can just like control click stuff in. But I'd recommend getting a currency tab whenever they're on sale. Always buy on sale in Path of Exile if you're going to. And always buy a supporter pack if you're going to buy any microtransactions or anything. But I would very highly recommend getting a currency tab. Very, very exceptional. Okay, so I don't need this ground slime anymore because I have Vaal ground slime now, which is hilarious first off. But now I'm going to kind of see if I can work my way around these dexterity limits on these 2 weapons here. So if I talk to Nessa, she has a dexterity necklace, alright? Now, because of this, notice how these weapons require dexterity, and they're redded out because I don't have enough dexterity. You can cheese this by having a dexterity necklace or dexterity on gear, or that sort of stuff. And I'm going to show you something even stupider in about 2 seconds because of the way this weapon rolled. So, we're going to go and buy the highest roll here. We have a dexterity necklace. Alright, so we're going to put that on, right? Put that on. And now I can put on the axe. I'm going to put on the boarding axe. But you want to see something even stupider? Watch this. Yeah. I can take the necklace off, and the items stay on. Now, you want to know how I can do that? If you look at the axe, you'll see it rolled plus 10 dexterity, right? That is factored in because it's equipped. So, I have 24 dexterity. If I take this one axe off, both axes are now redded out again. So you can do some very, very interesting shenanigans when it comes to weaponry and that sort of stuff. And you can do that to free up slots and stuff. I've done this recently on one of my endgame characters, and I forgot, and I took the helmet off, and I wasn't able to put it back on again until I remade a dexterity amulet to put it back on. So, this, I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend doing this sort of stuff. You might screw yourself over later. But it's kind of funny when it works out for you. It's very, very funny. Alright, now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the alchemy that we had drop. I'm going to use it here on this item, personally, but I'm going to show you a few different things. Now, when you get an Orb of Alchemy, I'm in Solo Self-Found, right? So I can use this to create a weapon. Much akin to how I created this type of weapon, right? I did this with the vendor recipe. I could just alch this and then we'd be good. It would be something of note, potentially, because I'm going to do that and we'll see afterwards. But if you get an Orb of Alchemy drop, or you get like a Chaos Orb drop, or that sort of thing, you can also buy leveling gear, or buy like better equipment and that sort of stuff. So for those of you who aren't playing in solo self-found like I am, and are just playing in standard, or playing in Delve League, for example, I'm going to show you how to buy gear in a very, very fast and efficient way right now. Now this may look like a lot, but trust me, bear with me, and it's going to be very, very easy to do. Let me open up my Chrome tab here. Let me wait for it to be not just white anymore. Okay, so we're going to have this open here. We're going to type in PoE.trade, right? It's not gotten scary yet. It might when you see all the options that become available, but trust me, let me just explain them to you. My internet is being average apparently, but when PoE trade opens, you'll see a bunch of stuff here, right? This is meant to, you know, intimidate and that sort of stuff. But this is just a bunch of options that you have for looking for very specific pieces of gear. So in my case, I'm going to show you how to look for pieces that you want. I would recommend buying a leveling unique that is normally pretty cheap. Now, I know that a limb split axe is a cheap level 13 two-handed weapon that generally goes for like an alch. So if I were to just literally type in limb split and then hit enter again, it'll show the weapons that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a limb split, of course. And if I wanted to buy one for leveling purposes, all I would do is I would find one that was listed as one alch, currently online, and we would just click whisper, like so. Pop back in the game, hit enter, and then hit Control V, and it will automatically whisper the guy saying exactly the stash tab, the exact price, and that sort of thing. So I would send that to him, and then he would most likely send me an invite. Then you would right click on his portrait, and then go to his hideout and trade with him. And trade him the item, and you'd be able to get a leveling unique. You can do this while leveling at any point, whenever you have currency. Now you're gonna ask me, oh Wolf, what if I don't know what these leveling uniques are? What if I don't know what good low-level items there are? Well, I'm gonna teach you how to do that too. So if we just type in, for example, to figure out like a limb split, if you just type in PoE unique axes, you'll get list of unique axes. I know, right? Rocket science. We click on this, and it'll say it'll start from the lowest level and work its way up. So we have a Screaming Eagle at level 6. We have Dread Arc at level 16. We have Relentless Fury, level 29, and then things start to work their way up. So you can see at two-handers, you have Limb Split at 13, Wide Swing at 18, Reaper's Pursuit at 33, etc., etc. So you can look at this, and then you can come back to PoE trade like this, and say you wanted to see if something else was in your price range, right? See if you wanted to see if Wide Swing was in your price range. So it's level 18, let's just type in Wide Swing, enter on it. And it's a chrome. It's even cheaper than the one alch item that I was trying to buy previously, and it comes with some very, very good stuff to it. Now I'll cover this thing when I get to it, when we actually get one of those items. But say you wanted to do that, or you wanted to price check something and see if it was in your range, that's pretty much how you would do it. Just plug it into PoE trade, and then that would be it. Now I'm going to go and use this website later on to show you guys how to buy endgame gear, but this is how you go about buying leveling gear and leveling stuff and that sort of stuff. Now I'm going to be crafting it all, of course, but if you have some currency, you're in Standard League, and you want to get, say, a major leg up, this is hopefully the simplest way I can explain on how to buy gear. Don't use trade chat or anything like that. They'll fucking scam you. It's just don't. Just don't. Now, I showed you this for axes. What if I told you if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can do the same thing for everything in the game. Every single item, every single chest piece, you know, whatever you want. You just click on this at the bottom here. it'll open a list just like the axes. Then you have level 1, level 17, 30, and it works its way up. You'll see each one is got a certain category. This is for strength, for like a chest piece. This is dexterity, etc, etc, etc. I'd recommend really only buying weapons, or maybe a tabula rasa, which is a 6 linked item. It costs you normally 10 chaos. If you somehow manage to accrue that while leveling, that's what I would aim for. Okay, so that is pretty much how you go about buying leveling gear or dealing with leveling gear. That's normally what I do whenever I get my first alchemy drop in a new league. The people are going to list certain items very, very cheaply, so I can go and search for maybe a good leveling weapon at whatever level I'm at. Or if I'm just trying to go really fast, I'll just chuck it on an item like I'm about to do and see what we end up with. So let's throw that on here. Oof, not bad. Not bad at all. Increased physical damage is actually incredible because I'm going to show you a nice, neat little trick here. Also have a wonderful gem setup here. Thinking now. I have a red-green, which means I can put my onslaught in there as well. So ground slam will now give me onslaught on top of that. Now if we put on our secondary weapon, we'll see that our damage goes up by quite a bit. Now I have a lot of things to tell you about dual wielding, but let's see, yeah. Dual wielding is going to be talked about in the next video. I'm going to cut this right here. Also, my dog is going ballistic, so I shall see you guys in the next recording. Take care, gents. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. If you enjoyed it, take a look at the 2 pieces of content you're seeing on screen right now. If you wouldn't mind, you can click that big red button and see more updates from me. And if you want to go even further than that, then you can take a look in the description to find my new Patreon link. You boys gotta keep the lights on somehow.